Right. Well, I think we can get going, John. Looks like we have a few more jumping in.
Great. Yep, we want to keep this on time. So hi and welcome everybody. I am John Anfinson. I am the Vice Chair of the 10 State Mississippi River Parkway Commission and also Co-Chair of the Culture and Heritage Committee with Pat Outers from Arkansas, who is on our call with us today. And on behalf of the 10 State Commission, under which the Great River Road resides, I have the pleasure of announcing, and I'm sure you already saw it, that our road, your road, has been voted the best scenic drive in America. The USA Today's contest, in that contest, we beat 9 other spectacular scenic drives, but none of those other drives have a network of interpretive centers like we do. As advertised, our goals today include trying to help you boost your visibility, attract visitors, and foster community partnerships. We also want you to engage with one another, find connections between yourselves that link the whole river together. We want you to see yourselves as part of a network connected to something greater. And I trust our success with USA Today's competition brings home the value of that bigger connection. You are part of the best scenic drive in America. And this story will spur people to drive and journey along the Great River Road, and they just won't want to drive it. They're going to want to hear about all the river's great stories and amazing resources from you. And I hope you tell them about how you fit into this bigger picture of the whole river. The more you tie into our network of nearly 90 interpretive centers, the more you'll become part of it and benefit from being a part of it. We have 2 presenters today. Scott Williams is the president and CEO of the Discovery Park of America. He leads a 100,000 square foot state-of-the-art museum resting in a nearly 50-acre outdoor heritage park in Union City, Tennessee. And he will tell you about the challenges he faced in getting his community to understand what his interpretive center was about and why it mattered to the community and the region. And it doesn't matter how big or small your interpretive center is, you can learn from what he is going to say today. Our other presenter is our own Suzanne Thede Barnett from our national office. She has been the longtime coordinator of our 10 State Commission. She will reveal how the MRPC promotes the Great River Roads Interpretive Centers through its various marketing and how you can tap into that marketing to increase your visitation. She will also tell you about the promotional opportunities the MRPC provides you through our website, social media, and other outreach. And she will help you consider how to leverage the America 250 recognition and take advantage of this new designation as the best scenic drive in America. Scott will present for about 20 minutes and then take about 5 minutes of questions. Suzanne will present for about 15 minutes and take another 5 minutes. And as she's already done, she will send out some questions or polls for you to answer. Please participate in those. And then with the time we have left, we'll take more questions for both Suzanne and Scott. And we hope you put some questions in the chat as we go, or just feel free to chime in during the Q&A. So Scott, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, John, and good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen. Oh, I'm not, I've sent you a
Sorry about that,
request.
Scott. Yep,
That's
I'm
okay.
not on the ball this morning.
Hey, no problem. You're the boss.
It is our second time. We're supposed to have it done, right?
All right, you should be good.
Okay, cool. Here we go. I'm going to share. Let me make this full screen so you don't see my messy desktop. Okay, great. So I'm going to throw a lot at you in 20 minutes, but we're going to circulate this. So if you happen to want to see more on my PowerPoint presentation, just let me know. Or you'll see it there, but if you want more information, let me know. My email address and direct line are on here as well. So the topic today is how you get your community to see the value of your organization. There's a lot of reasons why that matters. Of course, I know all of you know this, but a few of them that matter to us: fundraising, grants, community support, engagement with industry peers, partnerships, word of mouth promotion, and of course, for us, it's really important that we have turnstile. Turnstile is how I measure, one of the ways I measure success. And so that's really important to us. So I want to do a little case study for you guys of Discovery Park of America. It's a fascinating place, an amazing place, but we had some challenges that we had to address. And so these are the ways that we chose to address them. We are located in Union City, Tennessee. It's a nice little charming town like Mayberry. a lot of nice shops and studios and coffee shops and apparel stores. Agriculture is our main product here in Obion County. We are located in the far northwest corner of Tennessee. We're about an hour from Paducah, a couple hours from Memphis, 3 hours from Nashville, 3.5 from St. Louis, and about 4 from Louisville. So, as you can see, we are not in an urban community. We are not in a metropolis by any stretch of the imagination. For you to understand sort of the challenges that we had, I want to go all the way back to our beginning. Discovery Park of America really began when the Goodyear tire plant packed up and left town, taking with it about 2,000 really well-paying jobs. As you can imagine, there were 2 and 3 family members working at the plant who lived in one household. So the only choice for many of them was to move away, which then all the people that served those families also had to close business and move away. So it was really like a bomb went off in the community. And if it weren't for Robert and Jenny Kirkland, the town would be one of the sad stories that you read about other rural communities. Robert Kirkland was the founder of Kirkland Gifts, and he ran a huge business out of his office and warehouses here in Union City. He and his wife were very successful. They were both from here. This was their hometown. And he was very much upset when he saw his town taking a wrong turn. Now, one thing about Robert Kirkland that's fascinating is as part of his business, he was in the import-export business, bringing things in, having them manufactured and having them resold at retail in his stores around the country. And so traveling around the world and seeing all these different things and hearing all these different ideas really opened up his mind in ways that he didn't know possible. And so he was very much about challenging other people. He would bring speakers in to Union City and invite his friends to come hear a speaker. He and his wife would send the graduating high school seniors to Europe. They funded pre-K for kids who might not get it otherwise. And so they had a heart for exposing people to things they'd never seen before. He decided to build a center of education here in Northwest Tennessee as both an economic driver, but also as a way to change lives. And so he put an ad in the paper that said, "I'm going to build a center of education. If you want to join me, meet me at the library on this day at this time." And more than 200 members of our community showed up to hear what he had to say. He had, before they arrived, he had divided the room into sections and had little pieces of paper that said technology, science, military, history, natural science, art. And so he said, "Go to the table. You're the most interested in that topic." And they did. And he said, "You are now the committees. I want you to meet together and I want you to come up with what you think in your topic would be in a center of education." And so they did that, and he ended up buying a cornfield that had nothing around it for miles and miles. And so he bought this cornfield. He invested $100 million, and Discovery Park of America was born. So we are as John mentioned, 100,000 square foot museum. I'm not going to read all of this, but you can see we have a lot of really cool things here. The only aquarium anywhere nearby. A lot of really cool stuff. Outdoors, we have 40 acres. This is only one side. And so it's an amazing place. This is what we have outside. It's beautifully landscaped. And now after it's been 11 years and the trees have grown, and so it's really even more beautiful. Robert Kirkland opened Discovery Park in 2013, and he said Discovery Park should enhance education for children as well as adults and do it in an entertaining way. Now, I wouldn't say this to just anybody, but since we're all friends here, I will add that much to his wife's embarrassment, he also said it should be the most fun you can have with your clothes on. So that sort of sums up his personality. He was very much a character and very funny. Robert Kirkland passed away shortly after Discovery Park of America opened, and his wife passed away a couple years later. He was told by everybody, nobody's going to come to Union City. You're wasting your money. Don't invest. Well, he built it. They did come. We have had over 3 million visitors. Our primary feeder markets are Paducah, Jackson, Memphis, and Nashville. And then secondary markets are St. Louis and Louisville. Now, here's a little case study of what people thought about us. Did people appreciate us? Now, I got to do this because I was new 6 years ago, but I'm getting ready to do it again just to see where we are 6 years later. If your community doesn't clearly see your value, it's easy for them to share misinformation, dismiss your efforts, cut your funding, turn to less effective alternatives to do what you do. Now more than ever, all of us need to be able to be very clear about what we do and make sure our community and others in our region understand exactly who we are and why we're important. So I'm going to give you 4 really quick steps. The first step is you've got to know what is your community's perception of your value. You can't just think you know, you got to know that you know, and you got to know different people obviously are going to think different things. You got to know who thinks what and roughly what the percentages are. So how do you figure that out? First of all, you ask, and you ask again. We did a little phone survey. I know those are old fashioned, and maybe we did one of the last ones that happened, but we found out some really interesting stats from that. We met with our potential visitors, the people we wanted to have come through, and we asked them, now we had been here 5 years when I arrived, so it was the perfect time to do a little checkup. We said, who do you think we are? What do you think we are? We had a whole list of questions we would ask. We would ask some of them over a luncheon. We would ask some of them in a focus group setting. We changed up the setting, and we changed up how we asked. We asked teachers, we asked moms, we asked grandmothers, and then we met with the staff. I met with each and every staff person, and one of the things that stands out to me is when I said, what is our mission? The vast majority said, if you figure it out, let me know. So there was some confusion there. I met with the board one at a time, and then we met with our community leaders, our mayors, and our councilmen, and the like. What we discovered is that there was great confusion about who and what we were. Some people thought we were like a Dollywood. We were the equivalent to Silver Dollar City. We were all about fun. We were all about family. We were all about, bring your kids and have a roller coaster ride. We don't really have a roller coaster, but that is a metaphor. Some people thought we were a children's museum and we were just for little kids, while other people thought we were just a history museum and we were just for older people. The local newspaper called us an entertainment venue. When I first got here, every article would say Discovery Park of America, the entertainment venue, which they didn't know, and so they quickly changed that when we explained to them why that's not what we were. Now, the second thing is, what should your community's perception be of the value that your organization provides? And that's something that you may already know. You may have been there from the beginning. You may have in your head exactly how they should understand what you do. For me, I was new to this community, so I needed to sit down with those who were in the room where it happened. The people who were with Robert Kirkland in that room when he had that meeting. We had focus groups with those people. I had a lot of lunches where I would pick people's brains. The people who worked on the building, I wanted to hear what were the words he said, because I never got to meet him. So what were the words he used while he was doing the walkthroughs? And some of his friends, and of course his family members. He has 3 children. He and Jenny have 3 children that also could fill in some of the gaps. Another thing that we did that I just always encourage people to do is a SWOT analysis. If you haven't done it and you're working with any kind of group, whether it's a church group or a civic group or your company, and you're volunteers and you want to figure things out, do a SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Get people in a room, have them do these one at a time. My biggest tip for this is, when you think you've listed all the strengths and everybody says, okay, no one's talking, that's it. That's where you wait. You don't move on to the weaknesses. You say, okay, let's keep going, more strengths. And that's when the really meat of everything comes out, is when everybody thinks they're done. It's amazing. Every single time, more comes out. And so putting all this together really gives you a great snapshot of some action items. What we came up with was our museum. We are a museum and heritage park with the mission of inspiring children and adults to see beyond. That's our mission. And then we also, from an economic standpoint, needed to make sure that people understood we bring 250,000 plus visitors into this region annually. Now, step three, we had to come up with strategies to close that gap between where perception was and what we wanted it to be. And then with each of those strategies, a set of tactics. And we came up with a huge document, a 3-year strategic plan, and a lot of people's involvement in it. But I'm just going to share two today, some of the tactics for the two things. One was sharing our financial impact and our economic impact to the community. And two, how do we share our mission related impact? I'm going to run through these really quickly, but just know that there were, for each of these, a lot of other tactics as well. Economic impact study. I got a bid from several different people from the local university on doing this, and everybody, I mean, it was like $25,000, $30,000. I didn't want to spend that much money on this because I wanted to spend it elsewhere. But so we just tackled it ourselves. This is our second one we've done. We used our 2023 visitation. We're very fortunate that we know where our visitors come from because we take either the data from the credit cards or our ticket counter folks ask, where are you from? Now, that is something that if you're not getting zip code data, but you do want to get zip code data, here's just a little tip. You have to remind people at least quarterly at the ticket counter why it's important. When I was at the museum in Washington, D.C., I started noticing that my visitors were all of a sudden all coming from Maryland. And so I'm like, what is going on in Maryland? And so, I went down to the ticket counter and tried to figure it out and asked, and finally one of the newer workers sheepishly admitted that they found it was quicker if they just entered their own zip code into the system. So what you want to do is make sure they understand the value of why it is they're doing that. Now, from our impact study, we discovered that in 2023, we were responsible for bringing in $38 million into this region from retail, dining, transportation, attraction, and lodging because people were coming to Discovery Park, and then other money that we as an organization spend in our region. Now, once we figured out where people came from and put that into the system, then we were able to use some of the numbers that are considered industry average numbers on how much a tourist spends, and so we put all that together. I am definitely a person who needs a really good CFO. So we had a great team. We worked on this as a team, and we're really proud of it. We found out, where exactly people came from. Surprisingly, only 5% of our ticket purchasers were from 38261. Perhaps not as surprising when we're only a town of 10,000. We do an annual impact report. This is our fifth one to do. And basically, it just says our mission. This is all about mission. Now, we also include a return envelope in with this. We send out less than 1,000 of these with a giving envelope. We don't add, in this particular mailing, I'm going to show you that in just a minute. This is the mailing that goes out. And it has free tickets, a calendar of events, the impact report, a letter from me, and then also it has a giving envelope. Everything we send out, when we send it out, has a giving envelope. Really, I just got an email a while ago from somebody who got one yesterday, and they were really excited about it. We started the Robert E. and Jenny D. Kirkland Discovery Awards. This is basically a way for us to honor our founders. It's a way for us to honor 4 individuals who are leading their life or career aligned with our mission to inspire children and adults to see beyond. So they come from all different sectors. They come from all different places, that most of them have roots in rural communities, whether they live around here still or not. These are our 4 winners from this year. But it's basically a 2.5-hour cheerleading session for Discovery Park's mission. We make about $80,000 from this event that goes into the Robert E. and Jenny D. Kirkland Scholarship Fund, which allows students to visit for free. We take that graphic or we take the information and we beat the drum over and over and over again. I'll speak to any group where two or more are gathered. Scott will come and speak as well. So we'll have I'll bring my little board and talk about things going on at Discovery Park. We're very passionate about sharing the message. The other thing that's really important is that we engage with our partners. Uh, of course, everybody has tourism partners in your state and in your local community. Great River Road has been a really great partner for us since we joined last year, 2 years ago. Um, all of these folks, I am very supportive of the leadership of these organizations. They all have missions, and I want to help them every chance I can because I want them to help me. And it's all about all the oars in the water. So this is just one oar, but it's a really, really important one. Measure and tweak. How do you know if you're successful or not? Well, we're getting ready to start another little round of figuring out if we're aligned with what we're supposed to be. But I can tell you this: from 2019, our revenue has grown from 6.5 to 8.7 million. Of course, there was a little thing called COVID in between there that screwed up our pie charts. But we are seeing more revenue generated. We If you measure success economically, we in the past didn't really have partners that contributed financially. And so we created a program, and now we just opened the Farm Credit Mid America Education Pavilion and Greenhouses. We opened in the Simmons Bank Ag Center an exhibit on innovation in agriculture that was sponsored by many, many, many fine companies. And we raised $1 million to build that. And then we have a new exhibit we just opened called Duck Duck Goose Waterfowl of the Mississippi Flyway, because we're right here in the heart of the Mississippi Flyway. We're in duck hunting country and bird watching country. And so we built this exhibit, and we raised $1.1 million to build that. So we have a lot of great partners. The money's great, but the important thing, which is even more valuable, is the partnership. Having these folks partner with us. So for example, our exhibit on agriculture is not just an exhibit that stands alone. We open the doors. These partners can come in, have events, have programs. We have Ag Day. We really partner with folks. Same thing with the duck hunting community. We love to partner with them, have events here, have awards here. It's an ongoing, living, breathing thing that we do with our partnerships. So to summarize, you get your community to see the value of your organization by figuring out what the perception is, figuring out what it should be, and then implementing strategies and tactics to move the needle, and then measuring and tweaking. Again, you can grab a photo of this, or you can take it off of here when Suzanne sends it around afterwards. So I'm going to escape, and I'm going to turn it back over.
And I'm going to turn it back to Scott. If someone will ask some questions, there's a lot of great information for you all, and I hope you can. It spurred some questions. Like I said, Scott runs a very, very big museum, but when he had to do an economic study, they took it on themselves. They did it, and I like that idea because I think anybody of any size place could kind of take the steps he took to do that. Would that be right, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is just pure hands in the dirt, grassroots. Let's figure it out. We have to have money for some things like our entire marketing, advertising, PR budget is about $350,000 in that neighborhood. But honestly, a lot of it is just getting your hands dirty and figuring out ways to get creative and get the word out about things, and brainstorming, and it's a partnership is a lot of it for us.
So I'm curious if there's any of the interpretive centers out there that, I mean, if I was an interpretive center, I'd ask Scott, well, Scott, I'm only a museum that brings in 75,000 a year. How do I do this? And so there's some really smaller museums, community organizations, county historical societies. I know Jennifer Weaver's here from Winona County Historical Society. How do smaller organizations without your budget do what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think if things like, for example, trying to put together a 3-year strategic plan, first of all, you need to know who and what the perception of you is now, and what it you can do, what it needs to be, and you can, to do that, have lunches, have some focus groups, invite targeted people. One example, I mean, I went to lunch with a few teachers and said, hey, I don't feel like we have enough local students visiting. Why is that? And she said, well, do you really want to know? And I was like, yes. And she said, because you're not positioning yourself as a partner with educators. You're positioning yourself as an entertainment venue, and so teachers didn't think of us as a place to bring young people to field trips. They thought of us as a place to go have a drink. And so, we had to change that perception publicly. And you also have to be brave. And being brave doesn't cost anything, but I got a lot of heat, when I canceled some of the parties. Um, but in the long run, it was really better for the organization, so not, depending on what your organization does and what the goals are, and what you're supposed to be doing, all of these things can be done without having to spend a lot of money.
Thanks, Scott. I have a question from Heather Blanchard, and she asked, how is Discovery Park structured? Nonprofit or profit or for profit?
We're a 501c3 nonprofit.
Great. Well, I think I might jump on to Suzanne here, but again, I encourage you to put questions in. This is your chance not only to ask, I mean, if you ask a question, it could help other interpretive centers out there or other people trying to think, how do we do certain things? So please think of some good questions and put them in the chat, or come off mute and ask those questions. So Suzanne, I am going to turn it over to you.
Great. Well, good morning. And thank you, Scott, for sharing that information with us. And I'm going to piggyback a bit off of one of Scott's tactics with partnerships. And he mentioned the Parkway Commission and the Great River Road. And obviously, that's what brings us all together here. So I'm going to share my screen. And yes, how well do you understand what we're doing from a partnership end? And that's really what we're going to talk about today. Partnership with us, there's a lot of things that the 10 state commission does individually within each of the states, and then collectively as the national Mississippi River Parkway Commission. So we're going to briefly talk a bit today about each of these things: our maps, website, e-newsletter, social media, the public relations work we do, promotions. We're going to talk about some specific things such as America 250, and then some of the other options that are available. So right now we produce, hopefully all of you are aware of it, we produce on about every 2 to 3 years, based on what the budget allows, we produce a 10-state promotional map. It's not for navigation. It does include a map, and it does regionally highlight some of the communities that allow travelers to get just sort of an overall view of the full 10-state Great River Road. What it does include is information on each of our interpretive centers. Again, the importance of the stories that all of our interpretive centers up and down the road are sharing with our visitors. That is what we're putting front and center. So the information on here that you provide to us is what we're using here on the map. We fulfill somewhere around 15,000 through the national office, people who request off of our tourism website, experiencemississippiriver.com, or call us, or through email. When we print each new edition of the map, we distribute somewhere around 10 and 15,000 per state. So if you're looking to get your hands on a bulk amount of maps, you can check with your state commission. Otherwise, we do send them out just one or two at a time, as I mentioned here, from the national office. Our website, experiencemississippiriver.com, again, this is our home base. This is how we interface with our prospective visitors and current visitors. We see about 370,000 page views annually. Visitors spend a bit more than 3 minutes on our site at a time. So pretty good engagement if you think of how they're moving around on the site. Again, interpretive centers are all listed here with information, contact information, and then links directly over to your site. We certainly hope that you have reciprocal links back to our site, experiencemississippiriver.com. It definitely helps from an SEO standpoint, both on your side and ours, that we're connecting and sharing with visitors. Our site is about 10 years old. We did apply for a National Scenic Byway grant last fall, in part to update our app, which also was about 10 years old. If you think of how many times your phone, your cell phone, has had an update in the last 10 years, quite a few. In part, that's what put our app a bit behind on technology. And we're just looking for some funding opportunities that can help us update our technology. But for now, we just are continuing to add content to the website. All of the content that we have from social media, e-newsletters, things that you're sharing with us, different CVBs, states are sharing with us, our state tourism offices, all of that content and links we do have on the website. E-newsletters, we send a monthly tourism-based e-newsletter. We have just over 37 opt-in subscribers. We do an annual scrub of our list, meaning if people on our list aren't engaging with us over the course of the last 4 to 6 e-newsletters, we give them some additional opportunities to sign back in, but we keep a very healthy list of subscribers. This allows us to have a really good open rate of almost 34% on average, an average click-through rate of 4.5%, both of those well above industry average. I talked a bit about content earlier, and content is really what's feeding all of this. That's what we're putting in our e-newsletters. That's what we're posting on social media, on our website, our blogs. The information that you share with us, so vital in us getting information out to visitors, being able to share it with other interpretive centers. So as visitors are traveling to one interpretive center and looking for recommendations of where to go, north or south, based on where they're traveling, we want you to be able to suggest some of our other partner interpretive centers so that we keep them on the Great River Road. Our social media, please tag us, interact with us. We're looking at your social media sites, taking information that you have. Right now, we have almost 100,000 followers on Facebook. We have just over 9,000 followers on Instagram. We started Instagram much later, but our demographics on Instagram definitely skew younger than what our website and our Facebook account is telling us about who's engaging on those. So again, we're looking to broaden our audience based on people who are interested in the things that we offer along the Great River Road. We do have a small budget that allows us to be able to do some advertising on social media. We're trying to always create engagement. We're posting some type of beautiful photo or video, and we want people to connect and be able to share that, comment because they've been there, or ask questions because they want to go there. So engagement really, the the primary driver of what we're trying to do with our advertising dollars, in addition to driving traffic over to the website. We're trying to find people who don't know about the Great River Road or who have heard about it, need a reminder, or just need to go on our site and be able to find a little bit more about what to do. And again, interpretive centers provide a lot of the content of what we're posting on social media. Public relations, we get a lot of media contacts. I would say probably safely on average about 5 per month at least. Obviously goes up during different times of years. It might be they're looking for photos. They might be doing a story and just looking for recommendations. We are definitely a go-to for much of the media. We work with our tourism partners to be able to provide that information that the media is looking for. But again, the more we know, the better job that we can do in working with the media. Hopefully, again, you're aware we have a lot of different campaigns and promotions that we do throughout the year. We're trying to engage with our audience, the people who do like us on social media, that do subscribe to our e-newsletter, that do visit our website. We're trying to also bring in new people that are interested in the things that we're promoting. Knowing that so many people are on the Great River Road between Memorial Day and Labor Day, our main tourism season, we have a campaign called Summer Fun on the Great River Road. And what we're doing is just using a few of our extra advertising dollars to be able to boost traffic to our website, where we have event listings. Those event listings are from partners up and down the Great River Road that are providing photos and information on their events. In addition, we have some different giveaways that are happening in combination with that, some gas card giveaways on a monthly basis. Again, rewarding people that are engaging with us. They're entering in, they're following us on our social media channels, they're opting into our e-newsletter, they're providing their opt-in information, and then we're able to again see how many people are interested and hopefully be able to keep them engaged with what we're doing. We are also offering events the opportunity to share with us tickets to their event. If they provide us complimentary tickets, we will provide giveaway opportunities on our social media to again engage and reward people who are following us. And it's a win-win opportunity for everyone. It really expands our audience, creates great engagement, and is able to get information on your events out to the public. So submitting events is easy. You can go to our tourism website, experiencemississippiriver.com. There's a place on there within the events submission. All of the information that both Scott and I covered today, we'll be following up in an email to all of the registrants. So you'll have all of this information. But again, a great way to be able to get your events front and center with our audience. National Pollinator Week, our Environment, Recreation, and Agriculture Committee has been focusing on pollinators over the last couple of years. We've created a Great River Road pollinator trail. We've partnered with really so many different organizations, including Rotary International, on really being able to capture and encourage pollinators along the Great River Road. If you as an interpretive center or within your community have any pollinator gardens or any activities or events that are related to pollinators, please make sure that you share that information with us. We have some separate different story angles and opportunities to be able to really pitch stories and put that information out there. But we do have a toolkit available on mrpcmembers.com. That's our internal membership website with information related to promoting Pollinator Week. In the month of September, we have Drive the Great River Road Month. Last fall, we celebrated 10 years of celebrating Drive the Great River Road Week in September. We're going to continue it. It's a great opportunity to be able to highlight all of the different things happening throughout the 10 state along the Great River Road, from different tastes with farm markets, restaurants, menu changes, to different events, to really the different colors of foliage as you're driving along the Great River Road. During that month, we have, again, different promotions and contests that we're running as part of the campaign. We have a photo contest. We've been able to capture and expand our photo library. We also do different merchandise giveaway in celebration of that using our Red Bubble store, which is where we house all of our different promotional merchandise. And again, a toolkit is available on the members site to be able to include information in your newsletter, on your website, within your social media, promoting Drive the Great River Road Month. Of course, promoting us is promoting all of you. America 250, lots of excitement as the whole country is gearing up for the celebration. You're going to start to see, if you haven't already, a lot of things within this year gearing up for the celebration, July 4th of 2026. One of the promotions that we are getting ready to launch within the next couple of weeks, we're calling it America's Great River Road, 250 favorite things to see and do. And that's exactly what we're trying to do, is really capture some of those favorite things that people enjoy doing, seeing along the Great River Road. And more information on this will be available. We'll have different categories. People will be able to include a photo and share that information. It will be on the Experience Mississippi website. Anyone can browse that. So that's new user-generated content that we're generating for people to be able to get different ideas. And then in 2026, we're going to take those ideas and be able to really share some of the stories of the Mississippi River region and celebrate it as just such an integral part of what is now America and everything that has become of it over the 250 years. So look for more information on that. We also offer a co-op marketing program. I talked about all of the things I've talked about up to date are things that you can do at no cost to you. If you're looking to highlight something additional, maybe you have a new exhibit, a special event. Maybe you're just looking to drive more traffic in general, and you want to see what partnership opportunities exist with us in our promotion of the Great River Road. Check out our co-op advertising opportunity, a chance to get on the homepage of the website, a chance to get some special social media posts, or be featured as a standalone within our e-newsletter. So more information on that. John mentioned at the beginning of our talk today, winning the best scenic drive in America. And you bet we're going to celebrate that for a long time. And we certainly hope that you incorporate celebration of us being named the best scenic drive in America. On MRPCmembers.com, we have a toolkit that's available with some special graphics that you can use, language you can put on your website, in your e-newsletter, social media, to be able to share all of that information. I went over a lot, but I think, again, all of it so important. Hopefully, many of these things you knew. If you didn't, I have a checklist here. I'm going to send this to you after we finish the webinar. But in terms of the starting point, MRPCmembers.com is really a starting point for our interpretive centers. Go in here, register your interpretive center. If you haven't already, you'll be able to update your information. If there's new contact information, new hours, new descriptions, you have a new exhibit, anything that you want to share with us. If you don't already, we have two different e-newsletters, one that is internal member facing, and then one that is to everyone who's interested in the Great River Road, our tourism-based one that I mentioned earlier. Get yourself signed up for both of those. Photos and videos, please share that information with us. Our contact information is on the mrpcmembers.com at the bottom of the page. Submit your events online. Again, I shared that link earlier, and again, follow-up email with that information. We have a culture and heritage committee that meets bi-monthly that all of you are invited to attend. Information again on mrpcmembers.com, and when you register on the site, that'll automatically get you into the Culture and Heritage Committee email reminders. Connect with us on social media. Again, such a vital audience. We have great engagement and really a good place for you to be able to share your information. Attend an in-person annual meeting. Our next meeting takes place September 10th through the 12th in Baton Rouge. More information is on the members' website with that. Connect with your state commission or your county commissioner. Each state does have a contact. If you're uncertain who that is, that information's on the member site, or contact us and we can get that information to you. Again, keep us updated. Think of us when you're posting any new information that you have. We want to know about it. The more we know, the more we can share, and hopefully the more traffic you're going to see through to your interpretive center. And really, another goal of today was really to allow all of you to network with one another. We're going to continue to build on that opportunity so that you can recommend to visitors that are coming and looking and traveling either north or south some of the other interpretive centers that they can visit along the way. I'll be following up with all of the participating interpretive centers. If you haven't already, make sure that you put your interpretive center in the chat box so that I know that you are here. And I will make sure to follow up with you regarding a free banner ad that we're going to put on the website for each of the participating interpretive centers today. That was a lot of information, but I am certainly open to any questions that anyone has.
Let's see if someone jumps in right away with a question.
What type of marketing is bringing the most people? Word of mouth. Absolutely. That will probably and should always be number one. But it is good to see some of the other things that interpretive centers are doing to bring in new visitors.
Dustin.
Hi, I just wanted to say as commentary that I think this was a really valuable experience. And overall, I just think that the Great River Road and our association with you is extremely valuable to us. And we get many guests that are driving the Great River Road and make us part of that experience who wouldn't otherwise. And we appreciate all you guys do to make that possible for us. And we'd like to do as much as we can to be a part of that and to promote all the other interpretive centers up and down the river. So basically, I just want to say thanks, and I appreciate all that you guys do. We work quite a bit with our state council, but it's good to have this this sort of meeting as well. Thanks.
And Dustin, you're in Muscatine, Iowa, right?
Yes, Muscatine, Iowa, kind of on the southeast corner of the state, almost down there. Again, it's being part of the Great River Road is really valuable to us, and I would say a sizable portion of our guests are here because they are finding us through the Great River Road resources.
Great, thanks.
Good to
Hey,
hear.
John, this is Chris. You've got a couple questions in the chat from Delta Cultural Center and from Hallie over at the Fish and Wildlife Refuge.
Yeah, I was going to tie Hallie in. I was going to start with James Dean's question. James, I don't know if you want to come on and ask it directly, or if you want, pretend we're all together in a room and you can't text it to me.
Okay. Yeah, well, basically, the Delta Cultural Center has been around since 1990, and it's part of the Arkansas Department of Parks, Heritage, and Tourism. And because we're a government agency, we've got limits, and it also changes a lot of times depending on the administration, governor, and it comes on down to us as far as what we're doing. And we basically our job is to promote the culture and the history of the Arkansas Delta, which covers about 27 counties. And we have to do that with a limited staff, very small staff. With if you take the maintenance people out, we've only got about 3 people really that go out and talk to the public. And so I was wondering what would be some ideas that you might have that could help us in trying to meet our mission statement, and at the same time drawing members not only from Arkansas but from everywhere.
I mean, for me, especially in situations where there are 50 right answers, I always have to work from a plan. So I got to have a solid strategic plan that whoever, whether it's my board or whatever organization I'm working in, whatever the structure is, I got to have sign off. Here's what we're going to do. And then for every single objective, I have to have strategies and then tactics. And I just put them in a table, and I have a Word document that I make, and I circulate it at our board meeting and get input. By that point, we've done SWOT analyses together. We've done focus groups. We know that we know that we know, but really we just think that it's the right way to go, and then implement, and then all I pretty much do is just report on the plan. Here's where we've had to divert, here's where we've had to change. This changed in the environment. I mean, obviously, you know, things like COVID taught us all how to pivot. And so, we do a lot of pivoting, but, plan, and work the plan is kind of what works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Can I ask
go
one
ahead.
other quick question? How long, we've got strategic plans and we've worked on those things, but as far as a solid plan, what would be like the time frame in getting that all together?
I mean, honestly, if you walked in my office today and said, "I want you and I to work on this specific project together," I would sit down and start, I mean, a month from now we could meet again and we would have a pretty good plan. But I have ADHD and all kinds of I have a short attention span and, work too many hours and, balance too many things at one time. So, but, a month, if because I also hate corporate America and I hate the jargon and just sitting in meetings. I'm terrible at meetings. And so I just like to move, and just get things done, get things done, get things done. So um, that means I do get things done, but I'm terrible to work with.
Thank you.
Talk about infectious. You get exhausted listen, just being around you, I think. But James, I think another part of the answer to your question is what Suzanne talked about, and that is with a very small staff, use the Parkway Commission National Office and our website to leverage what you can't do for promotion and other things, and take advantage of this partnership. And Suzanne can say more of that, but we're here to help you. The other thing I was going to say is I was going to have Hallie. She asked a question about adding media contact list. Let's see, who would be the best Great River Road contact to add our media contact list so that we are receiving news releases for our events and can share, so they can share. Suzanne, you can answer that, but I was going to say if Hallie wanted to come on, Hallie's with the federal government. How does she, and as a small step, how does she get information out?
So I included a few resources here for you. And again, I'll be following up with an email in terms of including us in your distribution lists. Yes, yes, yes. MRPC at pilchbarnett.com is the email that you can add. I put it here in the chat in a couple different places, and I'll follow up. It's also on the bottom of mrpcmembers.com, that website. I also put the two websites on here, the tourism facing one, MRPC members, obviously the internal one. Lots of resources there, including the Great River Road logo, both the national as well as each of the 10 states, all of the promotions from Drive the Great River Road to the celebrations that we're going to do as part of the 250th to the most recent accolade with Best Scenic Drive. all of those visuals, talking points, releases, archives of all of our e-newsletters that we send out, and then a calendar that shows all of the upcoming meetings. So definitely use that as a resource. But yes, everything that I talked about today, we want to hear from you. We want to help engage and find new visitors and be able to connect the centers, such as we're doing today, so that you can talk and learn from one another. We're so grateful that Scott was able to really share his story with us. And when as John and I were talking with Scott and he was sharing it in a culture and heritage committee, we said, we this is exactly what we need to share to hopefully get the ball rolling and be able to not only engage with you, but as I said, really get all of you talking among each other.
And it might be a good idea for us to have a little breakout session with the centers during the annual meeting. So that could be fun to get together and talk to each other.
We do that. So you have to come. Baton Rouge is a short drive, I'm sure, from.
I was just looking at the details. I'm signing up.
Awesome. Anybody else have any other questions? Again, this is about connecting to us nationally, but also together as interpretive centers. You can learn from, as with Scott, you can learn from what other interpretive centers are doing. Maybe one of you can present next on what a small interpretive center does. Hallie came on. Thank you.
Yeah, hi John. Did you ask what we do to promote our programs in the visitor center?
You know, kind of along James Dean's question of, you know, we're a government entity, we're limited in what we do. How do we get ourselves out there?
I try to get as much free advertising as I can. So joining these type of webinars. No, I think honestly one of the best ways that we've been able to advertise and get people through our doors and get people to our events has been, we have a pretty good relationship with our local news stations. They're always looking for content on like Channel 19 Lacrosse, you know, it's not a very, there's some slow news days around here, let's just say. So I just reach out to the local news directly and I do short interviews with them. And you know, those TV interviews have brought, I think, more people to events and gotten volunteers to come because they're like, oh, I saw this on the news. I didn't even realize this visitor center was out there. So that's been a really helpful way for us to promote our center, and it's for free. So, but I do appreciate everything you've done, and I'm so excited that you won the contest.
And Hallie, thank you for, I'm not sure if everyone read this in the chat, but again, a great reciprocal partnership. We won in part because of not only the visitors, but also all of our partners up and down the river, and to blow up the QR code and be able to share so that people that come into the center can vote, know about what's going on. It's exactly what we're looking for in being able to extend our reach. Just think of the audience. We as National have such a large audience, and we put together the 90 different interpretive centers that we have and the audience that you have. And really, we just continue to really be able to grow and really attract the people who value what it is that we have to offer, which is so diverse.
Thank you, Suzanne. Well, we're at 10 o'clock. I want to respect your time. I really want to thank Scott and Suzanne for presenting today. I was inspired by both of them, and I hope you all were. And I hope you don't hesitate to, you know, I'm sure Scott would take a call or an email from you if you have further questions for him. So please do that. And come to Baton Rouge. I'd love to see you all in person.
Thank you so much for making time for us, everyone. Have a great rest of the day.
Bye all.
Thank you all very much.